that the day that Aso Villa will not have electricity, all the generating set will not work, Nigeria will have electricity. Because it now means that, okay, it has gotten to the top.
Yes.
Now, if you have, I want to check, I want to view President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state of mind through your professional lens at this moment.
Okay.
Where he is, and then you get to hear them keep saying, please don't protest, because we always say here, like I just stated, that they don't know what is happening, but it is what they want them to hear. But for him to have even started talking to people, it means that he knows what is happening outside. So what exactly do you think is his state of mind at the moment? Is it fear? Please don't go out to protest, because if you see this wave of protest coming from, you have in Kenya, you go to Uganda, even recently in Ghana, you see having Bangladesh.
Yes.
So with all that, is this wave and era of protest, is it fear that is making him to say, please, you people should not protest. What do you want? I will give you a bag of rice, 40,000. I will give you your minimum wage, 70,000. I've asked Dangote Refinery to start buying fuel from NNPC in Naira. So is it fear that is making, okay, let's quickly make things happen immediately?
Fear is part of it.
That the day that Aso Villa will not have electricity, all the generating set will not work, Nigeria will have electricity. Because it now means that, okay, it has gotten to the top.
Yes.
Now, if you have, I want to check, I want to view President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state of mind through your professional lens at this moment.
Okay.
Where he is, and then you get to hear them keep saying, please don't protest, because we always say here, like I just stated, that they don't know what is happening, but it is what they want them to hear. But for him to have even started talking to people, it means that he knows what is happening outside. So what exactly do you think is his state of mind at the moment? Is it fear? Please don't go out to protest, because if you see this wave of protest coming from, you have in Kenya, you go to Uganda, even recently in Ghana, you see having Bangladesh.
Yes.
So with all that, is this wave and era of protest, is it fear that is making him to say, please, you people should not protest. What do you want? I will give you a bag of rice, 40,000. I will give you your minimum wage, 70,000. I've asked Dangote Refinery to start buying fuel from NNPC in Naira. So is it fear that is making, okay, let's quickly make things happen immediately?
Fear is part of it.
That the day that Aso Villa will not have electricity, all the generating set will not work, Nigeria will have electricity. Because it now means that, okay, it has gotten to the top.
Yes.
Now, if you have, I want to check, I want to view President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state of mind through your professional lens at this moment.
Okay.
Where he is, and then you get to hear them keep saying, please don't protest, because we always say here, like I just stated, that they don't know what is happening, but it is what they want them to hear. But for him to have even started talking to people, it means that he knows what is happening outside. So what exactly do you think is his state of mind at the moment? Is it fear? Please don't go out to protest, because if you see this wave of protest coming from, you have in Kenya, you go to Uganda, even recently in Ghana, you see having Bangladesh.
Yes.
So with all that, is this wave and era of protest, is it fear that is making him to say, please, you people should not protest. What do you want? I will give you a bag of rice, 40,000. I will give you your minimum wage, 70,000. I've asked Dangote Refinery to start buying fuel from NNPC in Naira. So is it fear that is making, okay, let's quickly make things happen immediately?
Fear is part of it.
In the words of John F. Kennedy, former President of the United States of America, he once said, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable." Now let's see how that correlates what we'll be discussing today. Very warm greetings and welcome to D Conversation. We're reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Hashtag end bad governance in Nigeria. Hashtag days of rage. Hashtag there's hunger. People screaming different things. The placards are quite different. A lot of people saying different things, and with the feeds that we're getting from correspondents who are covering this protest, some parts it has been infiltrated upon, some parts there's violence, and some part it's been relatively peaceful. But then, what exactly is the way forward? Let's echo or re-echo the voices of support and opposition to this protest, because there's been a lot happening that has happened, and there is still happening. And we'll definitely bring you up to speed on all that has happened and that is still happening here at KAFTAN Television. My guest on the show today is Venerable Nelson Fadoju. He is a veteran journalist and broadcaster. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much, Annabelle. Well done.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Let us go straight to the protest ground with what we're getting from our correspondents on the ground. With some of them say where they are, it's relatively peaceful. Those who are in Niger State, it was peaceful at some point, and then at some point it became rowdy. There were chaos, people dismantling shops, people dismantling. It looks like it's been infiltrated upon. I'm going to ask you personally 2 questions, and I'd like you to unbundle them in one breath. 1, are you for or against the hashtag end bad governance protest in Nigeria? And 2, if you see all that has happened this last few days, the government or the different words coming from the president and the presidency, looks like is one, they're not like 2 sides of one coin. The president is begging Nigerians, let's dialogue, let's talk about it. But the presidency says you cannot go out to protest, even though the security officials later bowed to pressure and said, okay, let's go out to protest, but make sure you stop at 4 p.m. We're going to ensure that so those who are coming in to cause havoc or violence, they will be nipped in the bud. But with what we're seeing, it looks as though it's been a different kettle of fish entirely. What are your thoughts in all of this?
First and foremost, I want to greet all our viewers back at home or wherever you are watching KAFTAN. You asked me, where do I belong? I would say that I'm in between.
You're sitting on the fence.
Not odd, because one can be in between odd, but I'm in between. In the very sense that when an ant is climbing a human being and that person just overlook it, the ant will say that he is climbing a tree when he is on a human being. So, which means that in essence, when things are wrong and you keep quiet, you don't make your grievances known. Politicians of nowadays, we think that all is well, which shouldn't be in the real sense of it. Because when we are talking about either politics, government, or governance, all is about good administration, good governance for the total welfare of human beings. That is all what government is all about. But the whole thing has been turned upside down. You don't think of the welfare of the people, and at the same time you want people to keep quiet, to keep mute. It's not possible. That is one aspect of it on a side. Then again now, protest is like a request. It's like a reminder. It's like telling the government that don't forget, you owe us a duty of good performance. How? In taking care of the welfare of the populace. Because when you were campaigning, you said that you are going to provide a car that will take people from the road to his or her bedroom. But now, there is no bicycle with which to take such a person to his or her bedroom. There is no food. The little transport that people can still say they want to take, the fuel has gone skyrocketed. That is the more reason why people must talk. So, in other means, we can say they asked for it.
Are you referring to the government?
Yes, the government.
They asked for protest.
They asked for it. They asked for it. Because one thing that should be permanent in the eyes of the government is to have human feelings, is to ensure that, yes, we made a vow, we made a promise during our campaign that we will do this, we will do that. Then we will now put everything into a scale of measurement to see, so that they will not tell us what was said in the Bible, mene mene tekel peresini, that yes, oh, we have weighed your government, it has some weight. That yes, oh, we have weighed your government, it has weight. It is the people that we tell, power belongs to the people. And invariably, when you look at things critically, yes, you will remember that this government promised a 8-point agenda.
Right.
We will do this. We will ensure that, yes, education is free, and that people will no more suffer, and that there will no more be strike. We will ensure that agriculture is promoted. We will ensure that there is electricity, on and on like that. But let me tell you, where there is no electricity, where will production come from? How will industries thrive? How will the graduates, the youths, seek for employment one way or the other? That is the more reason. These are part of what is bringing about agitation, protest. So when people now stand up to say that, don't forget your vow, don't forget your promises. We have weighed them, but instead of giving you 80%, we are giving you 35 to 40. That is not a pass mark. For a government that has promised that they will do this, they will do that, and that there will be changes. Then from the government side, we may not totally blame the government. That's why I said I am in between, but not in between odds. Because we have to look back. The problem that this country has been facing from some years back, even during the Second Republic, that things have been turned upside down. Government has never been government. They have forgotten the definition of what politics or governance or democracy is. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Are we really practicing that now? That is the more reason why I said that the government has failed to some extent. You cannot totally blame the citizens. You can never blame those people that are calling that for protest. The other side of it that we must look at is that, yes, when you are now crying for protest, you make it peaceful. Because if you say you want to destroy what government has done so far, we will be adding insult to injury. How? It is still the people that will suffer. That is the more reason why whenever people want to do one thing or the other, you sit down, you dialogue. I am an arbitrator. I am a mediator. I am also a law practitioner. I am a clergy in church of the Anglican Communion. In church, there are ways of settling matters. That round table of a thing that we usually talk of is a place where A will come to meet B, C will come to meet D, the four will sit down. You place what is agitating your mind on the table. I place mine. Government also will place theirs. And then we look at it critically to choose the best for the entire populace. People have been crying, and you should not wait until, even when people say they want to protest or they want to agitate, you yourself should put yourself in a search, also in a scale that at times as a student, you can even try to assess yourself. How am I faring before an examination? The same thing, government from time to time should continue to do that, to know that, am I doing what the people are demanding from me? Am I complying with all the promises that I made during campaign? Then secondly, the purpose of governance, am I fulfilling it? So these are that is why it is a balance. But more or less, the load is on the government. Because they are the one that is taking tax. They are the one that is taking money from this, from that. The income, the budget, they are the one in charge. It is mandatory as a civic responsibility from the people that they must pay their tax. And when they are doing that, when they comply, it is now left for the government to ensure that they comply with the promises they have made, so that the people that we promise that we want to cater for, we will fulfill, even if it is not up to 100%, because of the situation, because the economy that is bad is not only in Nigeria, it is worldwide.
All right. You've said quite a number of things that we will draw strings out of as we continue this conversation. But first, I hear you talk about the fact that when you want to, during conflict resolutions, especially in churches, you have a round table where everyone will bring in their thoughts and then we'll weigh it together and then come to a conclusion. Now, with regards to bringing in the round table, who exactly, let's bring it back to Nigeria, not in the church, the government rather. When you have such, who is supposed to be on that round table? Because if you remember, a few days ago, the president called traditional leaders. The president has called on some other persons, the security officials and all, to have dialogue with regards to this protest. But then the president also says that youth, let us dialogue, let us not protest, let us talk about it. But then you're not seeing the people who are aggrieved on that round table, because they're supposed to be public opinion, so that you make it fair and balanced. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. Putting the horse or cart before the horse is not the right thing to do. Those people that are feeling the pain, you left them. You are calling people that are comfortable. You are calling people that probably even from the beginning, they are the one that summoned up courage to even put it there. Even though voters come from the majority, the poor masses. You first of all look at the people that are whose mind are agitating. It is there that you first of all find time to sit with. If after you might have done that and there's no good result, it is then you may want to call elders. But no, these people, and then you don't wait until the last minute. People have been crying and crying and crying. They have sent their agenda, their demand. We want this, which is inclusive of the constitution that is the bone of contention of the problem of Nigeria. The 1999 constitution, as amended, is the problem of Nigeria.
Did you just say the constitution is the problem?
It is the problem of Nigeria.
So are you for overhaul or amendment of the constitution?
You see the way the National Assembly is going about it, and the National Assembly members before now, they are following a very wrong path. We say that somebody is sick, you are patching. When I write an article, I used to say that the 1999 Constitution is a wounded Constitution, is a bandaged Constitution that is on the 0 hour of death. You cannot say you want to bandage, you want to be patching that. For long, if we are taking a cursory look at that particular 1999 Constitution as amended, everything is wrong. It is upside down. First and foremost, it was given to us by military, and we are running a democratic government, democracy. Is that how it should be? In the very first paragraph, we say, we the people of Nigeria. Who are the we there? Who? The military? Joining democracy? Who did they invite? How many people? How many legal personalities? Even though, yes, they put it to one, I think, justice that time. But do they take the consensus of the majority of the people of Nigeria, knowing our population? How many of the important stakeholders that contributed to this constitution?
So that brings
legally.
Sorry, I had to butt in. That brings us back to the question I asked. So it means it's been a long time coming with regards to dialogue, talking to the right people.
That is it. You see, when we are saying dialogue, at times, yes, it may be roundtable. At times, it may be policy, making policy statement. And how you do it, also, because since we are running a democratic government, and everything boils down to law, legality, governance, on and on, because you must back whatever action you want to take by law. You look at it. That is the very first thing. Thank God that Jonathan tried. He tried late. If to say that the 2014 National Confab has been done at the third year or second or third year of his administration, it will have been concluded and perfected. And then we will have built on that. And we have been saying this. Everybody knows this. And when now new government comes to power, if somebody is a Nigerian, if somebody has lived in Nigeria for 30, 50 years, and then you say you want to come to governance, you want to be this, you want to be that, and now after the people have given you their vote, you get there again, you say you are planning for 2, 3 years. What type of arrangement is that? You know that there are bad roads. You know that we don't even have electricity. You know that there is no pipe-borne water. You know that our educational policy is upside down. You know that things used to go haywire. You know that that unity of a purpose is not among. That is why A is fighting B. That is why the North is fighting South. That is why the West is fighting East. That is why the East is fighting the North. Who caused all these things? First, our constitution. Secondly, our leaders. Because they are not looking forward. They are not focused to the extent that they should take the bull by the horn immediately when they get to power. They are not doing that. After about 6 months of getting to power, they are thinking of another 4th term so that they'll be able to have 8 years. That is already now. Look at it. This is just about 1.5 years of this administration. Underneath, we have been thinking of 2027.
Have you actually seen the banners and posters? If you go to around
yes, that as a journalist, as a broadcaster, you know that we even before our neg is harsh, journalists we must know, we must do our research. We see them. That is also, and then one thing that should become better. You know that in journalism or broadcasting, it must be jack of all trades, master of all. Yes, the nitty-gritty of even governance, of politics, of journalism, of broadcasting, of name it, in any spheres, in any profession, we know, we study. That's it. At times when some people want to talk, they will say that, what does a journalist know? I, who is talking, when I was handling you and the law, even before I started practicing law, I was doing it then as if I was a lawyer. When I was handling health program, I was doing it as if I was a medical doctor. And in this job now, in this profession, I put in almost about 50 years. So I don't know. I've served so many governments, on and on. So combining journalism, broadcasting, plus religion as a venerable in the Anglican Communion, and also practicing law, and also mediator, arbitrator, on and on like that. I don't know any government that will want to talk about any politics that we say that one cannot contribute to it effectively.
All right.
And that is it.
All right, great. Let us go back to what you stated when we started the program. You actually talked about the hunger in the land. You talked about the bad policies. You talked about the 8-point agenda, which
Yes.
this administration talked about when they were during their campaigns and all of that. But then now you see that after 1 year, people are still complaining of almost the same thing they've been complaining about all through the time. You hear some people in their own placard is "we are hungry." Some people say "being power." It's different placards, different people calling for different things. Now my question is, the federal government also say we're barely 2 years, so you cannot blame us for all of these inconsistencies, all this corruption, all these leakages and everything that is happening, because we just came in and then some, even though it's the same party that was there before, but then they say, please give us time, give us patience. Then I hear some other persons, some other guests who will come out to say that Nigeria's problem started from Structural Adjustment Program, SAP. And then most other persons will say it even began before then. So is it fair? I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here. Is it fair to put all the blame on the current administration? Or is it a problem or that has been lingering? So people are looking for a way to vent. But unfortunately, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu found himself in this cookie jar.
I want to answer that question from this angle. We usually say in an adage that you left leprosy, you are killing Jatropha. Yoruba will say, one fetele, one palakpa. Leprosy, you have a leprosy. Then now you now go to be killing Jatropha. What relevance? Sincerely speaking, because we must come down to brass tacks, all that are happening to Nigeria presently, the woes, are not the contribution of this regime under President Bola Tinubu. They are not. They have been known. In fact, the last regime contributed much to our woes. But if you want to look at it again, we will say that which party? Then secondly, who are the leaders or were the leaders of the previous government?
So it's more like tomato.
That is it. That is it. Say and half. That is it. So the present government cannot say that they don't have hands in the past government. The past government, they tried, but look at it. I have never seen it. You made an order that we should have TSA, and yet there were lootings here and there. How? And nothing was done. The farmers continue to cry and cry. We said that, okay, people should go farming. They obeyed. Farmers were being killed, are being killed. And yet, no tangible thing was done. When farmers went to report, the security officer will say that their hands are tied. I don't know whether the hands have been losing, even till now. Because these people usually have 3 days destroying maize for cows. It was even upon that time that they wanted to take our rivers throughout the country. Taking them for who? In Yoruba also, they used to say, that sparrows, they are of equal size, unless the one that want to climb eats. But that was not the case during the last regime.
The water resources bill.
Exactly. So they are killing. Farmers cannot go to their farm. The little farming they did, certain group of people started coming with their cows, destroying it. And then now you went further to say that you want to bring out a bill. It's still in their favor. And then, is it only cow that we eat in Nigeria? Why don't we also make laws for those that are rearing goats, chickens, dogs, fishes, etc.? Why must it be only one segment on and on? The same thing has been happening. And that was why I was saying that the 1999 constitution is very wrong. Look at admission policy. Somebody will score over 300 in JAM. Someone will score 80. And you will say that because of
federal character.
And it is the same syllabus we are using.
Right.
80%. Over 300%. Then later you went from there. You said nomadic. Okay, we did not quarrel. If you are doing that, then you should look at the people that are rearing goats or livestock, other livestock. So, preferential treatment, ethnicity, usually spoil governance. It happened mostly in the last regime.
Is it happening now?
No, partially. Because some people are saying that, yes, it is only one segment of the country that is occupying this, occupying that, to some extent. But when it comes to government, there are certain things or the certain step the leader must take. Because that time I know that even despite the fact that general or former president was once a military officer, general, he himself was afraid nobody want to die. So in doing that, all service chiefs, majority, come from there something. So, and that is it. Whenever, and why? It is because of the insecurity we are facing in Nigeria. The moment a leader gets there, he wants to ensure that everything come to, including those that will man security because of fear. If I don't do it that way, they may upturn the table against me. So that is exactly what is happening. So this government, yes, because already this subsidy of 18 has been removed because it was not part of the budget and so on. But where the first thought came was that how can you are just coming to government on the very first day, instead of you to make a pronouncement that will be attractive to the people you want to govern, or a subsidy gone.
Does it
in the GB.
Does it matter the time?
It matters. It matters. It matters. First of all, a leader who is newly appointed, either in the civil service, public service, or to any segment in life, you first of all look before you leap. You don't just take action. You have not studied what was handed over to you. You first of all look at it. Okay, if I'm going to... Then secondly, you must consult. You don't just take a drastic decision single-handedly. These are part of the mistake. Yes, all the contestants, what's his name? The former vice president
Atiku
Abubakar said they will remove oil subsidy. Peter Obi said they will remove. All others said they will remove. Yes, we know, but it must take two to tango. There are several ways by. For example, now let's say someone say that what can you do to get 9? You can say 3 times 3. You can say 7 plus 2. You can say 12 minus 3. Look at that difference, and you will arrive at the same something. That is the more reason why a good leader must look before he leaves. He must also seek the opinion of the populace. It is not only the people you have appointed, because those people, they do eye service a lot. They will not be able to direct their affairs or to tell you the truth, because what they are eating, they don't want to lose it. They will be telling you, I always like a lizard. Though we know that a lizard that jumped from a high roko tree say he will praise himself if nobody does. But a lizard that you always say, yes, 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 is not assisting that government. You must come down, say, sir, with respect, let us do it this way.
Okay.
Let us do it this way. That is it. Humbly, sir, can I suggest this? But in a situation where, because you are afraid not to lose your job, then when the whole thing crumble, all of you go down.
Okay.
That is it.
Let me take a cue from where you landed. You talked about the fact that those who are in governance, they don't know what is happening outside, and then their handlers are not even making things easy. Now, you always get to hear people say that the president, when they get to Aso Villa, it's very, very difficult for them to know the fact that someone is outside crying Ibing Mami, because they feel all is well. So they only hear what their handlers or what the kitchen cabinet want them to hear. And then I have a guest who actually stated that the day that Aso Villa will not have electricity, all the generating set will not work, Nigeria will have electricity. Because it now means that, okay, it has gotten to the top.
Yes.
Now, if you have, I want to check, I want to view President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state of mind through your professional lens at this moment.
Okay.
Where he is, and then you get to hear them keep saying, please don't protest, because we always say here, like I just stated, that they don't know what is happening, but it is what they want them to hear. But for him to have even started talking to people, it means that he knows what is happening outside. So what exactly do you think is his state of mind at the moment? Is it fear? please don't go out to protest, because if you see this wave of protest coming from, you have in Kenya, you go to Uganda, even recently in Ghana, you see having Bangladesh.
Yes.
So with all that, is this wave and era of protest, is it fear that is making him to say, please, you people should not protest. What do you want? I will give you a bag of rice, 40,000. I will give you your minimum wage, 70,000. I've asked Dangote Refinery to start buying fuel from NNPC in Naira. So is it fear that is making, okay, let's quickly make things happen immediately?
Fear is part of it. All that are happening around the world is part of it. Even most especially in our African countries. And let me tell you, they say that when you push a sheep to the wall, or a goat, such a goat will look back and bite. A sheep is humble. Even a goat, when you say go, at even though stubborn. But when you now push them to the wall, they will say that they want to bite. Sincerely speaking, one way or the other, it is one thing to say that you want to assume the position of responsibility as a leader. It is another for you to know what it takes. And that is why the area I am quarreling with. How can someone say that, yes, I want to be this, I want to be that, for 20 years plus or 30, and now you have served in government for almost 30, 40 years, and yes, now you are coming there. You will not be able to differentiate between your right hand and left hand. What experience are we going to say? Our president, yes, has that experience, even though Lagos State is not Nigeria. Again, Nigerians, yes, we are also very difficult to rule. Nigerians are very difficult to rule. How? Though they take things easily. When you give them, if food problem is solved, housing problem is solved, Nigeria will do whatever you ask them to do.
Exactly.
If it is only these two, food, housing, and then our children are provided with job. That is all. Whatever you are doing, they are not concerned. But the moment that there is no employment, for the children, we labor hard to train by seeking for loans and paying extra on it, interest. And now after 5, 6, 10 years, they are going around the city. That is exactly what is pushing them now to even this type of a protest. And we cannot totally blame them. We cannot totally blame them. What do you want them to do? You say sit down, they sat. You say stand up, they stood. You say do this, they did it. On and on like that. But when it now comes, and again, there is no more fools, there is no more monkey anywhere again. Because some people have been taking Nigerian for a ride for too long that they cannot differentiate their right hand from their left hand. The time has gone past. Now, people know that we are richly blessed in Nigeria. Talk of it, fertile lands for agricultural growth. I used to be in Israel. I also studied in Israel. I used to be in Rome. I used to be in America, on and on like that. Our people used to go on pilgrimage. Not only that, they used to go for training. I also studied Greek in Israel as a part of my profession, on and on, apart from others. They saw that there, on mountains, on hills, they planted their food crops that germinate very well. They are fishing something. It is there that I saw, what do we call it? Egg. Black egg. It is there I saw egg like this. It is there I saw this apple that are very too big, on and on mountains. And we go there. Our people used to go there to learn. So when we cannot bring to bear all that we have learned, all that we have seen, either as a politician for years, and then you see them to bring out the best from all this, to use, to now add better things to it, you are not a leader.
All right. Very well, so we are due for a break, but there's so much things to talk about, and we need to start winding down. But before we go on that break, 2 questions from what you stated. Let's divert a little bit and talk about agriculture, because you talked about it's not about cows. What about fish?
Yes.
How about goats?
Goats.
How about snails?
Exactly.
So now recently you have the president proposed the livestock ministry. Some people say that's just trying to pay the alleged Fulani herders clash and just trying to paint it, make it look good. Do you agree to that? That's one on the side. And then secondly, I hear you also talk about pilgrimage, those who travel and all of that. And then we are now talking about the 2024 Hajj, 90 billion naira subsidy given. And then now EFCC is questioning the commission, NACON, with regards to how that money was spent. We've heard about the leakages, the corruption, the mismanagement, and all of that. So, but then we keep sending people for pilgrimage, either for Hajj or go to Israel and all of that. But then they come back and it looks as though, what exactly did you go there to do? So should we still continue? Some people say, please just scrap all this, because they don't come back to show us what they even went, what was the essence. So do you agree to it or not?
You see, that is part of what is wrong in our constitution in the very first instance. I am a clergyman and I have served in the board of the pilgrimage, taking people to Israel, taking people to Rome for years. So I know the nitty-gritty of what it takes. There's nothing wrong because Nigeria is a religious country in the very first instance. Secondly, don't forget that the northern part eat on religion. They combine their politics with religion.
Are you talking of the northern part?
Northern part of Nigeria. Any leader that is coming to rule Nigeria cannot do anything outside that. If, one, he wants to succeed. If he wants to please the majority there, that is their food, one way or the other. So, and in another part of Nigeria, state will normally budget for pilgrimages, for religious matters in their budget. Some of the states have a religious ministry of religion. Exactly. Some of them also have a Muslim welfare board, on and on. Of recent, some of them are now having that of a Christian there, because before they don't, and so on like that. So that is the more reason, because even rigidly, if you know theology, which I study religion and so on like that, you cannot separate governance from religion. You cannot separate a religion from politics. In the Bible, it is there. Daniel, Samuel, even when the Israelites were asking for king, even during the election of Matthias, election is there. There is nothing that is not in the Bible. Words of God. On and on. When we talk of census, is it not there? Talk of finance, is it not there? That person that cheated, him and his wife, that cheated. What happened? So we learn. Today, they have turned it upside down. They use it for jamboree. They use it for marketing. It's not like that. Thank God in the recent 3-5 years, we changed the modality a bit, to the extent that when you want to go for pilgrimage, you will even get there. You know, the other time I said that I even studied. There are vocational something which we have added to it for you to study. And when you come back, you practice. And it is not only for jamboree.
Oh, so now it is for just for jamboree?
It is not only for jamboree from the Christian angle. Then the EU, now, yes, they put so many money there, it should be properly audited. It is the leaders, the people that are there, who are leading them, that are short-changing. And that is exactly, because they cried out, what was supposed to be given, we not, let's say that's a member that is going on pilgrimage is supposed to be given, let's say, 100,000 naira. What we get to him or her will not be more than 40,000 naira. Where are the rest? And again, they know how to do it, because that's the more reason why. When they say that money is lost here, money is lost here by one minister or the other, it is not possible that it is not only that minister that stole that money. The accountant there must know of it. The auditor there must know of it. That is the more reason why, if they want to arrest any minister, those that are concerned, those that are in charge, who is not only the minister, should also be involved. Because a minister cannot single-handedly sign a check and steal money. And then, that is why, but what usually happens is that who will audit the auditors? Who? And that's the more reason The same thing is happening to the petroleum industry. The last president says he's also the minister. Abi, if you are a minister and things are going amiss, you yourself, you are liable. And the reason why they are saying this is that because they used to say, cabal. Yes, there is cabal. There is cabal in the petroleum industry. And because of the reason that they don't want things to boomerang, that is why they are covering. And that is part of what is worrying Nigeria. And that is why the people are protesting. And they have it. How can we have oil and we are suffering? So protesters are right. It is the government that should sit down and do the needful.
Living inside the water and yet you are thirsty. Quite unfortunate. 1 minute. You've not touched on livestock ministry.
Okay.
Right step in the right direction?
Yes, I heard that when it was muted about a few months ago. But the president and his cabinet must be careful about that, so that these people will not overturn it. It should be national. What
people are you referring to?
Those people probably to whom that ministry was created for, because they said, I read, it came out in newspaper that yes, it is our ministry. It is their ministry. It should be our ministry. That ministry, if it is livestock, cow is not only the animal in livestock. You know, I mentioned goat the other time and other things. Fish, dogs, chickens, and so on like that. It should be all encompassing.
All right.
That ministry, yes. Because now, these people, we know how they use things, they will overturn it. Don't forget that when we are talking about farmers are not only in the northern part, we have farmers everywhere. And so the commission they are just creating now, that is what is causing, you know, that initially they did it for certain part of the north. Later, they said the eastern part. Now every state is now asking for it. So if you don't want this type of a livestock ministry to be a thing that people will just be jettisoned again,
but then
make it national. Yes, there are ways. Yes, if those people that are rearing cows, yes, I know that they will say that it is only for us. It shouldn't be.
Okay, so but then is it actually fine to have the Ministry of Livestock and still have Agricultural Ministry? Because if you look at the Orasaya's report, it says that let us merge. Let us reduce. You don't need to have EFCC, ICPC, court or tribunal. Let's merge. So if you are talking about merging from there, so is it then fine to have the Ministry of Livestock and still have the Agricultural Ministry?
If we look at it from the Orasaye submission, and if in the actual sense of it, we say we are reducing ministries, parastatals, etc., MDAs, we may say that yes, they can make it a department or a commission or a department
under the Ministry of Agriculture.
Under the Ministry of Agriculture. But one thing that is parading my mind is that it is the people we must talk to, especially the civil servants. Thank God I retired after 35 years. I've served in local government, I've served in federal government, I've served in state government. So I know what it takes. Even in all these things, those people that we must warn are the civil servants and so on like that.
All right.
If things are supposed to be done the way they should be done, yes, if we have that department in the Ministry of Agriculture, they must not misuse it.
Okay.
That is it. So now, and then another thing, which if we are blaming government at times, we have reason. Because Orasaye is there. And then just about a few months ago, the president said that, okay, they should merge. Even they say NTA should be merged, Voice of Nigeria, on and on like that. But look at it now, from 30 ministers to 45 ministers. Is that a merger? Answer.
I'm the one asking the question here.
Oh, God. So it is me again. Yes, your position as a journalist, ask federal government. How now? Because yes, things scatter. There is another thing which I must mention here. Look at now how radios, television are being created now. Soldiers have, military, police have, NYSC, probably I think they are planning. Road or something. They also have, on and on like that. And that was what caused rambles about a few weeks or months ago in the House, which the former comrade, governor of Edo, NLC, was Oshiomhole, was saying that how can you take the money budgeted for security to buy military equipment? You are now using it to create a radio for yourself.
But you also have a radio station in other places like EFCC. You and all of. You also have radio stations in some other organizations like
that
even
is
the
what
EFCC.
I'm saying. Miss, you see, in accountancy, we used to talk about government. When you misappropriate, at times some of the people they said that probably they eat money or ate money on and on. It may not be that probably they do by corruption, but by misappropriation. Money was given to you for equipment because you said that no, you don't have enough. That Boko Haram have more sophisticated weapons with which you cannot face them. You are what concerns you about media? And now federal government has a radio, television. Voice of Nigeria is there. NTA is there. State has. And then there are private waters. These are the areas that misappropriation, misplacement of priority. All these things affect the problem of Nigeria. And that is why agitators, protesters has the right. And then in law, even under chapter 4 of the Constitution, and also of that of the human right, there is freedom of movement. There is, yes, you can gather, but when you gather to protest, it must be a peaceful assembly. Peaceful. That is just it.
Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll conclude this conversation with Venerable Nelson Fadoju. I'll see you later. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation, reaching you from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you actually just joined us, you've missed out on a whole lot. So we're already concluding, but then you can still join in this conclusive part. As my guest on the show today is Venerable Nelson Fadoju. He is a broadcast journalist, a veteran journalist. He is an arbitrator, a mediator, does everything good you want to know. All right, we've actually touched on a lot of things. There are so many things to talk about, but time is never our friend, especially when we're talking about matters that concerns our very own country, Nigeria. But then, even as we begin to round off, two questions I'd like you to take together. The first one is, I saw
everything double.
I like it double. All right, I saw a post, an ex-post made by the 2023 presidential candidate of Social Democratic Party, Prince Adewale Adebayo. He said, and quote, he talked about the IMF policy, and then he says this government is just playing the cards of the IMF policies. So I also hear some other persons say we're just playing the IMF and the World Bank policy. Even some of them, they don't even use some of these policies that they reel out. They just throw it out to the global north or the global south, and then they are the ones that are always quick to use them because they know that it would not even work for their own country. So especially with the fuel subsidy is gone, that was just the IMF policies. So do you agree to all of that? That's one on the side. And then secondly, as we begin to round off, I'd like you to look at the face of that Nigerian who is watching you right now and still saying that we no go agree or we're going to protest regardless. Let them understand that, yes, you have the right to peacefully assemble. But remember that where your right stops, another one person starts. So you have the right to peacefully assemble, but not to violate other person's rights.
Thank you. I will also use an analysis. The bait that is given to a fish inside the river, is it a food or poisonous food? When you put a bait in this thing and then you throw inside a river, you know that fishes will be happy. They rush at it and so on, not knowing that that's their end. That is what IMF is doing. And when you look at it, when you closely look at the scramble for Africa, that time we did not know. Now our eyes have been opened. When they said that, yes, they were going on a discovery mission, Mungo Park, Clapperton, Richard Landa, on and on like that, we really thought that whatever outcome that may likely come from their discovery will be to our favor, not knowing that economically they are looking for raw materials to feed their own industry back. And now it has gone to that extent that whatever that may be coming from them, they don't want us. They want us to remain developing without being developed all the time, giving out money. And when they are
not the one accepting them. If you don't accept, will it come?
Yes, those that are accepting are those people that by crook or whatever means, they want to be leader. They want to please them. That is why prayer before election, what do they usually do? They will be rushing to America, rushing to them, telling them so that they arrange when we get there, when you support us, when you give us loan, we will take to your bidding. That is what is killing us now. And that is why carelessly, they are misusing even this grant. If to say that the loan, they use them judiciously, it will be to our favor now. We will have developed. But they will put stringent measure to it at the same time, to the extent that, hey, because they will promise them part of our oil, part of our dissing, on and on like that. And by the time they get there, when we are paying back, there will still be leftover to which another subsequent government will meet. That is the problem. So, Prince Adewale Adebayo Esquire was right, and he is right. And he has been hammering this thing for long. I thank his brain. Not because of politics or so. He has his businesses one way or the other. Because he was warning, because we used to monitor, as journalist, broadcaster, we used to monitor him wherever he goes, and so on like that. He was warning them, follow the rules and so on. That was why you could not see him, because at that time, doing it the way they were doing it. He did his the way it should normally be done. Right. So it is our people now, because whenever they are looking for position, and so on, they run there. And whatever condition they gave them, they take. And the effect is on all Nigerians.
So sad.
That's your second question. Whether you
talk to the hearts and the minds of Nigerians with regard to the protests.
Yes. One way or the other, I want to plead. Thank God all the protesters have compiled their demands given to government. Give them 3 months or till the end of this year. Wash. Because that time I said that it must take two to tango. I mentioned that a round table discussion. It is not necessary, because oftentimes the protests we did 10, 15 years ago, of what resort? The one we did 5 years ago, of what resort? But that is not to say that we must not make our feelings known. And then secondly, when in the advanced country, America, UK, England, wherever, on and on like that, India and so on, when people want to protest, you will see military officers going along with them. When you do that, nobody will want to cause trouble. But when you now want to think that, to say that you are working, and one thing that is there is that many people are eating even from this, Many people ate money from this. And that is why always, whenever they say that some people want to strike, hey, they will say that, yes, they have seen it. Report that came to them says that, yes, they are doing it. It is for money. It is for money. It is a thing that we have studied cleverly. Right. So we must appeal to our people. Let us give this government a chance, because indeed, 1 year plus is not enough to correct what has gone bad for so many years. Let us still give them a chance and benefit of doubt. Having submitted the demands, let us now wait. One thing we should be doing alongside of it, the protesters, is that at time probably 2-3 months, send a reminder. Again, send a reminder. That one we
How do you send the reminder? Via your representatives?
Yes, because you know that there are many of them, human rights or labor, on and on like that. Sit down together, send a reminder, and you keep, so that, and then when you are sending a reminder, that's another important thing that people must do. The religious leaders, the traditional rulers also, they must be watching, so that by the time they call them, that please come and now assist us, so that there should not be people protesting. You yourself, you say that, Haven't they been reminding you what they are asking for? Do you do it? But for you
All
to
right.
now say, yeah, we will support, and it is there. It is not when things went haywire that you start crying.
Our time is fast spent, but if you can help us in 1 minute, Venerable Nelson, in 1 minute, there's this argument or this trend. People keep saying that, yes, we know that there's corruption, there are leakages, but then most people will say, like you already stated before, Nigerians don't want too much. It's just food. Give us what we ask for, and then whatever you want to do it. We don't even care. Because if you look at it, with all these things that has been happening, protests, but still Friday, Saturday, Sunday, lounges, bars, hotels are filled up. People just want to wine. They just want to be happy, and that's it. So for some people, they'll just say, if the president or if the government eat, but make sure that at least make us happy. Are you for or against it? But at least let it trickle down.
You see, those that are at the helm of affairs are not helping matters. I learned that I think it was said that Akpabio, the Senate president, said, you go protesting.
They'll be eating.
We will be eating at home. That's a wrong statement. Then secondly, his comfort should be reduced. Then secondly, thirdly, the way they put on the agbada, not agbada in real sense. I'm using it figuratively, symbolically, as part of Jones of literature. They should cut down. Even their salary, which we are talking about, this one came out of recent that 25 million is not enough to spend in 3 days. What do you want somebody that is earning 18,000 naira to say? So all this, they should not be showing face that we are there. Even in Yoruba, they say that that is when your yam is ripe enough to be harvested. You cover it when you are doing it. You don't make it like this. The way they are living larger, too much. That one also, we don't say that those people that are rich should not be rich. But don't use it as if that you are blaming God for caring those people that are poor. That is it. So let us do it in the normal way. And then when they are asking, as they are demanding for increase in their salary, they should be able to come out to support it. Even then, they should not be waiting until when Labour says we want increment. If we want it, now the government has promised by President Tinubu, and if you give him kudos in that regard, every three years. Now there should not be strike before they fulfill it again in 3 years' time. That is all right. Fulfill your promise. Fulfill your manifesto. Things will be all right. The little that the labor and people are asking for, and when we are doing this thing, it should not only be workers. What of the private people? Think of them.
What of those people carrying pom-pom?
But that is
the bricklayers.
Bricklayers, exactly. Think of them. It is then the country can be well. And I pray that it shall be well with this country. There shall be peace. There shall be plenty in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. That is a very fine place to anchor this conversation. Venerable Nelson Fadoju, mediator, arbitrator, veteran journalist. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much, Annabelle. And well done.
Thank you. All right, viewers, that's all we can take for today. Thank you so much for your company. We've been chatting with Venerable Nelson Fadoju, who is a veteran journalist, and it's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. I'm sure you must have been rightly educated, entertained, and informed. Please shun violence and say yes to peace, but shun violence. From all of us here at KAFTAN Television, we tell you, if you want to protest, please protest, but make sure that it is peaceful. See you again next time. My name is Annabelle Oji. God bless you and yours. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.